Welcome back. Last week we did the deck review of the Archangel Power Tarot. This week we will be using it to do our pick-a-pile readings. While I shuffle, I just want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing with your friends, whether you come back to see the little readings or the deck reviews. I hope that you are enjoying yourself. To get content, early bonus content, and other fun things, head over to the Patreon. If you are interested in booking a reading or checking out either of the journals that I have published, head to the website. And for little sample readings and those types, feel free to check me out on social media. Everything's listed. And I appreciate all of you and all of your support in helping me to be able to do this. Very lucky to be able to do what I love for a living. All right. So for the pick-a-pile, I will put out the cards, and then you take a moment to decide which one you are drawn to. There's pile 1 right here, pile 2 right here, and pile 3, and then we go into the readings. So deep breath, pause it if you need to, and then when you're ready, go ahead and get started. I do have the times in the description. So we are starting with pile 1. We have the Knight of Ariel, or the Knight of Pentacles, the Ace of Gabriel, Ace of Wands, and the Page of Michael, or the Page of Swords. These are great cards together because we have this idea of routine, slow and steady, planning. They mention a detailed plan. And then we have the card of the creative spark. The Ace of Wands is always that get out there and do it and create. And maybe you don't really know yet, but you have to start. So here we have a nice balance between making sure you have everything ready and not waiting until everything is in place. It's important to know what you need, but if you know that some of what you need is down the line, then you're actually better off starting with those little steps and letting those things fall into place than you are waiting for everything. And the Page of Swords, or the Page of Michael, speaks to new ideas, communication. So it's like you've got the plan. You've worked it out as best you can. Now you're starting to go with it, keeping that vision in mind and understanding that you can adjust the plan, and then you let that flow and the new information that comes in dictate the adjustments you make. I love that they talk about reviewing contracts or documents very thoroughly, because the Page of Swords has to do with communication, information, and sometimes we are so set on a plan that we don't really look at the new information and we just keep going forward, even though it's obvious that the best way to go has shifted. Kind of like if you have a GPS that pays attention to detours and you hit dismiss every time it tries to tell you about an upcoming accident, and it's like, hey, this could save you time, and you're like, no thanks, I know the way, I know where I'm going. That is kind of the plea that the Page of Michael has here in regards to the Knight of Ariel. Is like, please allow yourself to have new information and deal with it as it comes in. But ultimately, to keep that passion, remember why you're doing this. Remember why you want to do this, what you hope to accomplish, and don't let the routine take over to the point where you forget why you started it. All right, moving into pile number 2. And we have the Emperor. Excuse me. Moving into pile number 2, we have the Emperor, the 3 of Gabriel, or the 3 of Wands, and Divine Guidance, the Hierophant. So we have the Archangel Uriel, Gabriel, and Sandalphon to help us. The Emperor is a card of action, but it is not just action and movement, it is leadership. This is a card of having gone through all of the pieces for so many things. The Emperor is the culmination of all 4 kings and therefore has had all of the experiences. So when he moves with leadership and when he takes action, it's not this jumpy charging forward. He moves with confidence. He strides in. He takes command and allows others to follow because they know he knows what he's doing. I want you to take this and have that confidence that you are in charge. Jump in and help lead the way. The 3 of Gabriel, or the 3 of Wands, comes in with that to speak to growth. The 3 of Wands is starting out on your journey, but having made some pretty solid decisions as to how you'll go. So these two together says you're taking charge, and you're doing so in a slow and steady way that will create growth and will keep things going at a solid pace and not any sort of herky-jerky or falling apart in the middle. And then we have him with the Hierophant, or the Divine Guidance. This is a card of community, but specifically our identity and community, and that's why I love that they have this here in that search for the meaning in life, because it's really searching for who you are and what your life means to you and how you interact with the world. And I love Consider an Alternate Approach, because when it comes to the Hierophant and tradition, oftentimes we are wondering why we are partaking in tradition, whether it's because it's what we were raised with or it's what we believe in. The key here is not to just follow or just throw away the traditions, but to understand where they're coming from, what they mean to you, if they still mean that to you, and if they should be continued or altered in such a way that the meaning holds and that you are still honoring what it is you are meaning to honor. So as you go forward, you also need to understand that in this take charge energy, those changes that you make will have effects not only on you, but on those around you. So it's, getting pretty deep this week, but you've got it in you. And for the third pile, we have the Knight of Raphael, or the Knight of Cups, the Ace of Ariel, or the Ace of Pentacles, and the Nine of Michael, or the Nine of Swords. So here we have when our ability to see the best in people and our eagerness to see the best in people kind of gets us knocked off our feet and then turns into worries that it'll happen again. The Knight of Cups is the romantic. He is the rose-colored glasses guy. And here they really focus on that aspect and the romantic relationships. So to see this with the Ace of Ariel, which is the Ace of Pentacles, a card of potential, which I am sometimes compelled to remind people that potential isn't always potential for good things. Sometimes it is potential for disaster. And I kind of love these two together because they can both be fairly naive in some ways. The Knight of Cups is sweet and understanding, but also very likely to ignore that sort of thing. And in fact, in his seeing the potential for a wonderful relationship or the potential in somebody, he misses the potential for things to go very, very wrong until he runs into it. And then we end up with the Nine of Swords, which is the card of anxiety. Worry, here they talk about regret and guilt as well. It is the stuff that keeps you up at night. For this, it mostly feels like a caution to just stay realistic. Continue to see the good in people and situations, but also see where those things may fall apart. And then you can be ready to fix them, ready to work on them, or ready to find a better path. But there's no need, if you go in with open eyes as well as an open heart, there's no need to blame yourself for things that don't work out. Sometimes they just don't. But again, keeping your eyes open as well as your heart will help to keep you from being blindsided in the future. So good luck. Thank you.